So we're at Waypoint Zero Overland Outpost campground here in Calhoun County, West Virginia. It's been 1 year since we've been here. Jerry Bain's idea came to fruition and it's open.
How's it going, everybody? I want to introduce myself. I'm Jerry Bain. I'm with Country Roads Coalition. We have been pushing motorized rec, this kind of tourism in West Virginia for a decade now. It has all came to this right here, this campground. What we want you to know is that no matter where you are, you will have a place to spend a night or multiple nights at Calhoun County Park. That's a dedicated area for overlanders, and we will make sure that you're comfortable and you have a place to stay. There is no better friend to motorized rec and adventure tourism than Senator Mark R. Maynard, and it's my privilege to introduce him today. Come on up, Mark.
Thank you so much, Jerry. It's been a pleasure to work with you for 10 years. I can't believe it's been that long. I didn't ever dream that I would be able to help in government to push my passion and what my friends' passions are, so it's been an honor.
Chris Farley made that line.
Join us for an exciting weekend. We've already been out on the trails with Jerry, so stay tuned. What's up, brother?
How you doing? These are awesome. Thank you very much. Well, I'll do a little share on that as well. Yeah, it's cool.
Open area.
I like it.
Heck yeah. And then the kitchen, this is probably the most used piece of equipment on the truck. Watch your head,
Wow.
We got full kitchen, sink, stove, all your spices and cutlery.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so this was, I just built this all, again, out of boredom and free time.
Yeah. You ready for this?
You bet. Let's go.
Let's go.
Everyone, please welcome Speaker of the House, Delegate Roger Hanshaw.
Mark, thank you. Folks, good morning. What we're doing here and what the volunteers and what the community and what the leaders and the contributors of Calhoun County and the coalition that's brought today together have created is an opportunity for us to showcase to the rest of the world what those of us who live here and are from this community know to be true. Welcome to Calhoun County.
All right, my co-dog / co-babe Tina tells me it is 12 o'clock. Mike, have you even started moving yet? Not yet. I didn't think so. All right, guys, let's roll, let's roll, let's roll, let's roll. Looking good, looking good.
Next on our list of speakers, we have the person that's probably mostly responsible for what's going on here today, Commissioner Eric Lupartis. He's Calhoun County Commissioner and has envisioned, and along with Jerry and many others, has made Waypoint Zero a reality.
Thank you all. Welcome here. Welcome to Calhoun County Parks. Welcome to Waypoint Zero. What an honor it is to have you here in this county. There's some tremendous advocates for your industry, for our county, for the state of West Virginia, right here on this stage, and I really thank every one of them, and we owe them all a great debt of gratitude for what they're doing here.
So we are currently down at the annual Wood Festival here in Calhoun County. We're in a convoy of about 32 overland rigs. We're going to run through this short parade and then we're going to hit the trail. We're taking you along for the ride, so enjoy it. It's going to take us a few hours with this many rigs to get through and get back to camp. After we get back to camp tonight, there's going to be the first fire at the Waypoint Zero campground. We'll be attending that. Thank you.
Let me tell you a little bit about Calhoun County. We have less than 6,000 residents. We have no industry. We don't have manufacturing. Our hospital is probably our largest employer. Today is more than an opening of a campground. It's a celebration of a vision, a partnership, and a belief that small rural communities can do big things when people come together. Thank you for being here. Whether you traveled here from down the road or across the country, we're honored to have you with us as we officially open what we believe is truly a unique destination for outdoor recreation, overlanding, adventure travel, and exploration. So thank you all very much for coming, and you're welcome here anytime. Just show up, we got a spot for you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
You from Kentucky?
Yep.
Yep.
Lye County?
Lawrence.
Lawrence County.
We're from Lye County originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have roots down there.
Great place.
I love your color scheme.
Thank you.
Walking around. Like your Jeep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like your Jeep. Thank you.
Thank you. Order a funnel cake.
Huh?
Scream at him and order a funnel.
Waypoint Zero Overland. It's a great place to adventure and a new opportunity for tourism and economic growth right here in Calhoun County. Please help us thank these overlanders for choosing Calhoun County as their destination.
Next, we are graced with a good friend of mine, Tyler Orn. He's the field representative for Congress-Lady Carol Miller. Everyone welcome Tyler Orn.
Well, thank you very much, Senator, and I'd like to thank the Calhoun County Commission for their leadership in making this new facility a reality. In addition, I'd like to recognize the Calhoun County Park Board of Directors, community partners, and many other individuals who have supported these efforts. We must continue to create more outdoor recreational opportunities throughout our great state and utilize the resources and natural beauty of this region for the benefit of our citizens. I know the Waypoint Zero Overland Outpost campground will provide adventure seekers near and far with enjoyment for years to come, and I'm honored to be your voice in Washington. Sincerely, Carol Miller, Member of Congress. Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to be making a right here at the end of Dollar General. We'll be making a right at the end of Dollar General.
And last but not least, we have my personal friend, Jerry Bain. An honor to see what you've done here, and amazing, and to see some of our vision, a little bit more of it come to fruition. Everyone, Jerry Bain.
Thanks, everybody. I'm not going to talk long. I know you guys don't believe that. So if you know me, you know I like to talk. I just want to mention Country Roads Coalition first. Guys, go out there on Facebook, type in Country Roads Coalition, go to our site, become a member. You don't have to be a member other than just follow. Anything that's going on recreationally, motorized, rec-wise in West Virginia, you're going to find that information there. So why Waypoint Zero is so important is because we can't invite the world to see how beautiful West Virginia is until we give you a place to stay.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Everybody give him a round of applause. I know countless hours have been spent, probably thousands of hours on this.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Guys, we are 26 deep. 26 deep.
That's a lot of
Last
rigs.
year, I led 27 for 3 straight days. So this will be easy.
It's a lot of rigs on a ride.
I don't know that we've ever been.
We've been in the 30s before
Have we?
that I've led. No, peach orchard.
Oh, okay.
Alright guys, we got one coming up the hill, we got one coming up the hill.
Well, he just needs to pull over and give up.
This is a very narrow road.
Yeah. You meet somebody's backing up.
Yeah.
Somebody got to give.
It's Route 5, we'll be turning right on that. So we're going to need to pick it up and make some time. So right down here on the left is the Brooksville Grade School. Everything left now is just a gymnasium that has been torn down. But that's where Tina went to school, and also Mrs. Pitts, Donnie's wife, was a school teacher there. There's a lot of good ghost stories in this part of the state. One of them is the ghost of the Betty Farm. We passed that a little ways back. Tina and I are thinking about doing a trip this year around Halloween and putting a group together and driving through and going through all these old ghost stories. This is a very sketchy part of Appalachia when it comes to spooks and haints.
So we just had a check engine light come on.
Wouldn't be right without it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a trip without it. Me and her had a conversation in the garage before we pulled out.
She didn't listen.
No. I'm betting it's a O2 sensor.
You think?
Well, boys, looks like we got a bridge out. Good thing we got a water crossing.
Tail gun actually had a boogie van sight.
Copy. You on the go red, Tail?
Not yet, we're waiting.
Copy.
A little bit dusty.
Yeah.
So again, this is Straight Creek, guys. Back in the day, this was a single letter route road. And in West Virginia, what that means, if it has a single digit, like a 3 or an 8 or a 5, it would mean it was one of the major roads through the area at the time. If you look at a West Virginia road sign, if you pass one, and if it's got a number over a number, then the top number means that's the route number, and the bottom number means that's the tributary off of that road, being of the 11th or so on and so forth. So this was a major route back in the day. This was the major way through this part of the state. West Virginia in 1922, correction, 1933, they designated via the Senate the Department of Highways. Prior to that date, all the roads were maintained by the counties, and every county had its own numbering system. So the West Virginia Senate created the Department of Highways, and they created a map. On that day, 33, they created a map of all the existing roads in West Virginia. In 1937, they came out with a new map, and that was the official West Virginia road map of 1937. I have both those maps, so it's kind of cool to run a lot of the old roads here in West Virginia, but that's how they did the numbering system. So again, I think it's kind of cool that in the turn of the century, this would have been a major highway. And the fact that it hasn't changed in 120 or 150 years is pretty cool. These are the roads we're trying to save, guys. These are the roads you're here for. We're going to get these things mapped up for you. We're going to make these things available. Now that we've got you a place to camp, we're going to put a bunch of these roads into the system so you guys are going to be able to come out and camp and run the roads. Tina and I are working on some routes where we're going to put in all the points of interest, and we're even going to associate YouTube videos to them. So you'll be able to download the YouTube video, you'll be able to do the route, and you'll have Jerry Bain in your ear telling you about it. For those that don't know, West Virginia is the second most forested state in the nation. Only Alaska has more forested square acres than West Virginia. West Virginia is also the only state completely inside the Appalachian mountain chain. There are a lot of states in Appalachia, but West Virginia is the only one that is all Appalachia. This part of the state, the Appalachian Plateau, has hundreds of miles of dirt roads to explore. It's one of my favorite little stretches of road in West Virginia. And you get to do a water crossing right before you hit it.
Did you say it was your favorite?
For anybody, I'm gonna go ahead and put this out because they're already starting on me. So for those of you that haven't run with me before, some people believe that everything is my favorite.
I've never been on a trip and not heard it's your favorite.
Bobby. Was I love West Virginia if you haven't figured that out yet. No, but I do like this, and I like to show people things that I think are pretty. And as we run along this fence post, and the old cedar trees up here, these old walnuts that we're passing now, that's the eastern black walnut. You got an old farmhouse on the right. You got your hay laying down on the left, first cutting.
Guns across the creek.
No way. Alright, well, I'll slow up a little bit, let you guys tighten it up.
All that dust.
So if you're a regular viewer of our channel, you'll know that about 1 year ago today, we was out here with Jerry Bain helping him promote the idea of Waypoint Zero in the trail system. And today it's happened. Hopefully the surrounding county officials will recognize this as an economic boost and they'll want to join suit as well and join in on this project, because people from out of state or away from this particular area do not know where these old roads are. And it takes an organization like Country Roads Coalition to get them mapped and put on paper and shared out to you guys that can enjoy them, bring tourism dollars into these areas.
Alright guys, after you pass that tree, you're going to have a turn to the left. They call that Riverview School Lane. Riverview School Lane, it is a county road. If you go out there about a quarter of a mile on the right-hand side, there's one of West Virginia's only remaining one-room schoolhouses. It sets to the right, so you definitely want to put that on your pin drop there if you're following along for future trips. It's pretty cool. West Virginia at the turn of the century had over 100 one-room schoolhouses. 1 year I spent a lot of time going around trying to find all of them. I have a map with all of them on it. This area had a lot of them. This guy here's got a little sign. Says if a man is alone in the woods and no woman can hear him, is he still wrong? Tina says absolutely. That's probably a question for the scholars. So Burning Springs, West Virginia, which is where this road will end, it's also where Tina and I live. It's our current home in Burning Springs. Burning Springs got its name from a spring that came out of the hillside that also had natural gas coming out of the hillside, and you could actually light the spring on fire. Now this was hard for the people of the time, the 1830s, when this area really started to develop. It was hard for the people of the time to understand how that water could be on fire. Oil also bubbled up out of the ground due to a natural anticline. An anticline is just an upheaval in the Earth's crust, or the oil pocket was within 200 feet of the surface. It's why Burning Springs became the first oil field, and it also became the location of the beginning of the Second Industrial Revolution. The Second Industrial Revolution began when we quit using whale blubber to lubricate machinery, and we started using petroleum. Petroleum was discovered in Burning Springs in the 1810s, 1820s, when they were drilling for salt. Salt was very important in the time. They used it to tan their hides. Importantly, they used it to cure their meat so they could keep it over the winter. So everyone was always drilling for salt, and they'd get into a salt mine or a drill, and then this black stuff would come up and destroy the entire salt mine or well. Rathbone was the first to take it and put it in a jar, and he called it rock oil, called it Rathbone's rock oil, and in the 1830s he put it into jars and he sold it as an elixir that would cure anything. Again, this was before anyone knew what it was good for. So Burning Springs, some might say Titusville, Pennsylvania is the first oil well drilled solely for the purpose of oil in the United States, but that's just because Burning Springs didn't have as good a records. But the most important thing about that, when people say that Titusville beat Burning Springs, is I say that the gentleman that drilled that well, Titus, he used all the equipment that he had shipped up from Burning Springs. So, we won't be driving by it today, but you'll find it on your map. It's the Rathbone well. The Rathbone well was the very first well to ever be drilled for the sole purpose of oil in the United States, in the world. Everything you have around you, your phone, your glasses, your vehicle, your tires, everything you have has petroleum in it, and that all started right here in Burning Springs, West Virginia. You're going to be able to see the tail on the left. This is also where we're going to make a quick stop. 10 minutes. Guys, that's all you got. We're going to hit a real bumpy section, so if you need to go to the restroom, you should try to do so. So, for an FYI, this is my favorite road in West Virginia. This is my favorite trail in West Virginia.
We haven't done it. one for us. We've never been on this one. Last time we was here, we turned hard left and went on up the hill.
So Burning Springs isn't just oil, it's also natural gas. We're going to be passing a probably a 1960-70 era pump jack. Yep, and what they'll do is they'll pump, this is a gas one. How you can tell that's a gas well instead of an oil well is if it was an oil well, it would have an associated 100-barrel tank next to it to put the oil into. That's a gas well, and what you'll see is a line there on the side. And what that pump jack will do is it'll drop down and it'll bring up that natural gas and it'll push it out that line. So that well right there, when it's running, is a natural gas well. Tina Dad worked for Oil Company most of his life. And that's what he did for a living. He would pump these old wells. So there are different types of wells. Over the years, they started with the old opposing engines, the old one-cylinder steam engines, and that would have been at the beginning of the era in the 1850s. And then they went to an opposing engine, one-cylinder, or they even went to two. And then at some point in time, since they were so powerful, they would pump multiple wells with one engine in different locations. So you can still go through the woods here, and I know there's several of them still are. There's one over on Oil Rock, pretty easy to get to. And you'll find these big pulley systems and cables running through the woods. And what would happen is that one opposing engine, that one steam engine, would pump 5 wells in 5 different locations with pulleys and cables. Burning Springs oil field was destroyed in the during the Civil War. It was burned to the ground. A general was dispatched, can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was dispatched to come down to Burning Springs oil field and burn it. The reason they wanted it burned was because the Confederacy did not want the Union having that resource to lubricate their trains and so on and so forth. So they came south and they burned all the bridges, tore up all the railroads, and burned Burning Springs to the ground. That would have been 1860, maybe 1865 or 4. So there was so much oil in Burning Springs, and they didn't have enough containers to hold it. So they built a dam up at the end of Burning Springs Run, which was a big creek, and they put a trap door at the bottom. And they pumped the oil directly into the run. It had real high sides. So they put that oil right into the run, and then they would send somebody over periodically to open up the trap door on the bottom and let the water out from underneath. When the Confederate Army came south into Burning Springs, they lit that on fire. And when the dam finally burned through, that oil ran down into the river, into the Little Canal, and the Little Canal River was on fire for 30 miles. There's a great book out there called The Burning Spring, and the gentleman that was there was not at there, but his dad was, and told him all about what that looked like when they burned the town and they burned the river. as part of the route. Because the banks were so steep, it was hard to build roads anywhere else back then. And since West Virginia hasn't changed much in the last couple hundred years, the roads are still where they were. We do our best to abide by the track principles, and we try to cross them as much as possible at a 90. Guys, we do have a few low-hanging trees. Shouldn't bother anybody too much. Just hold right. Should be fine. Quite a ways. Believe it or not, there's a lot of roads in this county that you stay in a lot longer than this. There are a lot of these roads that still exist here, so we hope to bring you guys back and take you out on some of these roads out in the middle of nowhere. Back into the creek here for this second little run. There's no farmhouse when we pass it on the left. The 1937 maps showed all the structures that still existed when the map was made, and this old house was on it. So this house is at least 100 years old, probably. Which I tell you what, for a group this size, we're moving real good together. Alright, this will be the last little section in the rocks and the water, and then we'll be bumping out on a nice flat gravel road. Not super flat, but better than this. And then we'll be making our way into Burning Springs, and then we'll turn and burn back to camp. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thirsty. Hey guys, there is one little tree that hangs down right up here. I get underneath of it, but I know some of you guys have rooftop stuff. If this is a problem, let me know. We'll fix it.
Relay 2 is caught up to the group.
Copy, Relay 2. Hey, so you guys with the gin, people like you guys with the Alu cabs, this wasn't this low last time I was here, so I don't know what's happened. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get out and move this thing. Give me a sec. there's a little bit of a slip right up here. So pay attention and hold right if you can. To the right is a one-room schoolhouse that's been converted into a little cabin. But it's also directly across from the slip. So as you look at the old schoolhouse, and that one's on the map, also pay attention to that slip. Copy, hold right.
Stopped back there for a break. I took my scan tool and I scanned the code, and it is a catalyst deficiency below threshold, so probably got a O2 sensor out of spec.
We have a butterfly.
Yep. Alright guys, as you come up the hill, you start down the other side, you're going to be passing the Ruble Church. Again, the Ruble Church was built in 1835 and is one of the oldest churches, not only in West Virginia, but the nation, that still holds services. All the logs are still original with the exception of the bottom one, the one you'll be looking at on the right. That one has been replaced. They did replace it this year. But all the other logs are still the originals. The flooring and the ceiling on the inside is still original. But most all the window trim and roof, of course, has all been replaced over the years. Got another pump jack here. This one's got the 100-barrel tank associated to it. You guys take a look at that. That's a steel tank, of course. Right down here, a little bit further into town, you're going to start seeing some of the original ones. So some of the original tanks were actually just wooden slats, like a big wooden barrel, and they would just pump the oil straight into them. The cool thing about Burning Springs is there's a few of those that still exist today from the Civil War. Here's Ruble Church here on the right. Somebody do the math for me. 1835. That'd be approximately 191 years old. So think about how many people walked through that church door in 190 years. So you're on top of the mountain here above Burning Springs. This was the Burning Springs oil field. In the 1840s, 1850s, and 1860s, guys, there wasn't even grass in the Burning Springs oil field. If there was a piece of land, there was an oil well sitting on it. There was so much oil on the ground that they would lay boards down to be able to walk through town or through the oil field itself. There was the Eternal Center was the name of the well that came in the 1850s. And when that well came in, it blew for 2 weeks straight. They were unable to cap it. And they named it the Eternal Center because they thought that well was the center of the oil field. They brought in a guy from out of state to help cap it. Imagine how much oil would flow into these ravines and stuff if an oil well blew for 2 weeks straight. And again, where you see the trees and stuff everywhere around you was oil field. Rathbone Well was the first well. There's a little park right there. You can look it up on your Google there, it'll show it. They actually redid the well itself. They found the original casing for it. They actually rebuilt the derrick the way it would have been built in the day, and they actually pumped it. So not only is it the first oil well, but even today it still produces oil.
and it's a very interesting location, and I highly suggest you stop and check it out.
So this was a boom town in the 1840s and 50s. During the oil boom, they estimated 6,000 to 10,000 people lived here, just in this little town of Burning Springs. Speculators came in from all over the world. There were two big, huge hotels called the California House. The original one burnt down in just a few weeks, and the second one, it burnt down as well, but years later. A president even visited Burning Springs, West Virginia. Grover Cleveland came. He wasn't president at the time, he was a speculator. But a lot of people came into this little town of Burning Springs when the oil started flowing. You know, when you look at world politics today and what's going on in Iran and Venezuela and how oil completely controls the world economy, you guys are currently driving through where all of that began. All of it. The oil tankers in the Straits of Hormuz, the Venezuela, the pipelines, the world, it all started right here in this little town in West Virginia, and nobody knows about it. Hey, as you pass this 100 barrel tank here on the right, there's some old oil field equipment here on the right I always like to point out. Earlier I talked about that the old engines, the old steam engines. That's one there to the right, and that little barrel right there, that's an actual oil barrel. That thing is from the Civil War era. And the reason it's lasted so long is because it had oil in it, so it's soaked up all that oil. There's also a big machine back there in the back that looked like a big turntable. That big turntable was one of the ones where they ran different cables out to different oil wells. Here on the right is one of the bigger original oil containers. Again, they brought people in to build those, and that's where they pumped the oil until they could take it down to the river and put it into barrels and ship it down the river. And the fact that that thing's still standing there after all those years. There's another one right up here. Yep, there's one right there on the right. We want to thank everybody for flying Boogie Airlines. We hope you had a good time, and we hope you learned a little something about Appalachia and the Appalachian Plateau region of West Virginia. And we'll see you at camp.
So this is on up the hill. This is the actual Overland campground. You're free to set up anywhere you want. Yeah, there's plenty of room up here.
This is made by Terry Hickman, by the way. Guys, this is a homemade, patriotic cherry/blueberry pie. It looks like a flag, right? 15, I got 15. Can I, $20, $20. Anything else? We got 25, 25, 25. 85, we got 90. Going once. 90 in the back. I got 90 in the back. Let's go. If you don't have a C note, you don't get this pie.
Now when you go wired, you go, oh, this is perfect for your turtleback trailer. 'Cause you have Oh yeah. Pop the hood for you.
Uh-oh. You got something other than 4.0?
I do.
Uh-oh.
I got less than half of a 4.0.
Okay.
Volkswagen TDI.
Volkswagen TDI.
Yep.
Where did you come up with that idea?
The Jetta that I had sitting in my driveway.
Inspiration.
Which I liked, but I didn't. I liked the power of it. I just didn't like the car very much. At that time, the adapters existed, but not that many people had done it or documented. So I'm in a. So this guy, little art-sized games having the rig. Oh no.
First Fire, Waypoint Zero Overland Campground.
Yep. And it's a good one.
Yeah. Got a good crowd.
Yes, very good crowd.
That is a great idea. How did we not figure that one out? Brian, come on, man. You know, we came all the way to West Virginia.
I know, good job.
And here we are watching other people eat breakfast.
It's a good exit.